It is about that time again. We are on another live episode on Ready, Set, Real Estate with yours truly, Lisa Puerto, super agent, the one, the only, and the original, bringing to you phenomenal, powerful information and great people doing amazing things in this worldwide web we call real estate. And I am so stoked about today's guest, especially because I've said this time and time again, real estate is a contact sport. Keep it simple, don't complicate it. And our guest, Pierre Pernejad, is founder and CEO of Knockwise, a door knocking app and a platform that helps you convert your farm to real business income. Hello.
Hey.
Pierre, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I am really happy to have you on, especially because, as I shared offline, I'm a little old school with the business. That tends to be our model. I mean, we love technology. Thanks to the platforms like this, we can get our message out there.
Sure.
However, when it comes to what we do in the industry, we're dealing with people. It's people in transactions.
Yeah.
So Pierre, share with us a little bit about who you are. The caption didn't mention that you are founder and CEO of Knockwise. Really excited to hear more about what your app is, what the tool is. But what really was special for me, and this is why I wanted to have you on, is because it's not that you came from a techie background. You're actually a real estate broker. You were 10 toes to the concrete, like I like to say. You've been out in the field and you had your epiphany aha moment, and it brings us to today.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny because when I hear you say CEO and founder of Knockwise, if I didn't know myself, I'd say, oh man, we got a technology guy on here. Not a technology guy. Look, guys, I'm not an app developer. I'm not a computer scientist major. You know, none of that stuff, right? I mean, my best friend to reset my computer is still Control Alt Delete, right? I'm not a tech guy. I'm a realtor, right? And I got into real estate when everybody else was running out because I thought it was going to be easier than what I was doing. Right? That was a smart decision. I mean, it ended up being a great decision, but when I made it, it scared the heck out of me because I didn't know what I was doing. And, you know, there was no platform for me to really learn. There was no training. You know, I came from a sales background, but it was always incoming sales, people coming into me, asking me for something and I would sell them. Prospecting was a whole new deal for me, right? So I had literally, back in 2010, I had Googled, how do you become a successful real estate agent? Right? Just Google it, right? That's my technology background. Right, just Google it, right? And so what does Google do? It gives me 4,000 videos that tells me to go out and knock on doors, go to for sale by owners, call expireds. And back then when I got started was, you know, notice the defaults. So I did that without blind abandon. I just went out and I actually ended up doing 9 deals my first year, 15 my second year. And by my third year in the business, I was top 25 in the state for the company I was working for out of 4,200 agents.
Wow.
Right. And it was
because you put in work though. You put in the work.
Let me tell you something. If there's no hustle, there's no game. Right. If you're not going to work, what are you going to expect? Look, there's nothing in this world that's going to be handed to you on a silver platter, as much as you would like to think so. Right. You know, my background, you know, we came into this country as immigrants, right? So family, work ethic, it was different, right? I saw my parents come into this country with $100, end up having multiple houses, businesses, everything else, right? And it was work, and relentless, right? Process. So that's all I knew, even in sales, right? I mean, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was, 19 years old, I was almost 400 pounds. And I went and got a job at a gym to sell gym memberships at 400 pounds, right? My first month in, top salesperson. The fattest guy at the gym, top salesperson, right? But I'll tell you the story behind it, and it's going to resonate into Knockwise, right? What it is, Lisa, is just, it's all about listening, right? It's about making a personal contact. It's about smiling back at somebody, shaking their hand, right? Understanding their story and empathizing with what they're going through at that time. It's not about you. It's not about your commission. It's not about what you're selling. It's about what do these people need and how can you help them? Because the more you end up helping people, it's amazing. The more you try to let people help themselves, they end up getting lost. You know, they really end up getting lost. Everybody will, you know, I mean, even in real estate, we think about it, right? There's a gazillion tools out there. And we'll try this one because today's flavor of the week is this, and tomorrow's flavor of the week is that.
Right.
But the only constant in real estate is go meet people. The more people you meet, the more friends you make, the bigger your sphere is, the larger your book of business is, right? The larger your book of business is. And so, you know, when I did that with Knockwise, when I got to the upper echelon of what I was doing in real estate, and I became really arrogant with my prospecting efforts, right?
That's honest.
Look, it was honest because
that's honest because yes, we see it happen.
Of course, right? Look, I was selling a lot of homes. I was doing 35 transactions in South Orange County. I was making money, right? We all understand, right? But I said, you know what? I don't have to be on the phone so much. I don't have to pound the pavement so much. I don't have to do all that. Let me go be from a prospecting agent to a marketing agent. And I started spending that $7,000, $7,500 a month, right? For the Zillow leads and Trulia and Redfin and you name it, right? And bought leads from this place and that place and got the assistant in the big office and everything else. And nothing was happening, right? I was losing business faster than I could ever do anything. And I said, oh my gosh, what have I done? Because what we ended up doing is we became digital. And when you become digital, you become a number. When you become a number, you're not real anymore. People will end up putting a value on you based on what their perception of your value is because you have not built any relationship value. Does that make sense?
That makes, and I like to see you see segue. If it makes sense, it makes dollars.
Right. You know, it just, it is what it is because look, I'll never forget this one phone call that really was the one moment in my life that the light turned on and I panic set in. I was getting leads from Zillow at the time, and I had done well with them, and I got this call that said, "Hey Pierre, saw this home on Zillow. I'd like to go tour it, but before we schedule the tour, I'm just calling all the agents that are listed on this site with it to see how much of your commission you're going to give back to me before I go see the house."
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh, what have I done? I just put all my money and effort into something where they're shopping me on the internet." It was like that moment that I realized, I don't go to Amazon just to find the most expensive thing. I go to Amazon to find the least expensive thing. So what have I done to myself and my reputation online?
Absolutely.
And I said, got to go back to the basics, and the basics for me was door knocking, right?
Door knocking.
But I'll be truthful with you. Again, I'm as straight as they get, Lisa. I don't sugarcoat anything. I hated door knocking. It sucked, right? Because you can't eat right and be on a diet for 2 years and then go have cheeseburgers and pizza for another year and then decide to go back on a diet. That diet doesn't taste good anymore.
Right.
Even though it's good for you, even though that's how it works, it's hard to get back to the routine.
Right.
Especially when it was so unorganized, right? Here's how, for any of your agents that are watching and listening right now or see this later on, if you've ever door knocked, win something like this, you call your title rep, you get that farm packet that's, give me north of this street, south, east, west, and they give you that beautiful book, right? You go jump on your MLS, you get the market statistics, and you go out to hit the neighborhood, and it feels like 10 hours, it feels like 1,000 doors, and it's like an hour and a half and 50 doors, right? And you make notes in the book, you make notes on your flyers that you hand out to a different homeowner by accident, right? You're making notes in your hand, you talk to 5 or 6 people, you come back and you send out your thank you notes, and a month later, you go back to that same neighborhood, you're standing in the middle of the street trying to remember who you had talked to, who said what, your notes are all a mess. It was crazy. So I said, it has to, it was just ridiculous, right? Like, how do you track that? And then, so you kind of get away from it because you don't believe in the process.
Right.
So at that moment, I just said, you know what? There's got to be a better way. I track how much people visit my website. I know how many people are responding to my mail. I know my Facebook ads, my Google ads. I know all this. Door knocking, I couldn't track. So I asked around for a tool for someone to help me, and it didn't exist. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to build it. And this is my ignorance, right? So the best gift I have in life is that I don't know that I shouldn't do something. I honest to God thought that I was going to pay somebody $500 and they were going to build me a website to track my leads, right?
Wow.
I mean, that's, again, guys, remember I told you I'm not a tech person? I'm really not a tech person. In real estate, we can pay somebody $500 or $1,000. They make us the most beautiful branded website with all the MLS listings and all about me and sell your home and what's your home worth, right? I just thought, hey, here's the information I need. Can you make it into a website so I can track what I was doing? So that idea of $500 in 30 days turned into about $250,000 in 4 years.
Wow.
But, you know, coming from that, you know, I'll tell you, not only have I learned a lot more about myself and how it's important to build relationships, because I'm now door knocking instead of in neighborhoods, I'm door knocking with agents. I'm meeting agents and we're training agents all the time with, you know, and what I want to give you a little perspective as to what Knockwise does, and it helps. But before I get into that, I want to let you know that everybody watching here can go to knockwise.com and get a free trial. No credit card required. We're not going to try to trick you into paying in a month from now.
I'm signed up, by the way. And yeah, we're doing our first training with Pierre here in SoCal, and we're going to share the Eventbrite URL as well. And this resonates with me, you guys, because, you know, I say that real estate is a contact sport, and our industry is constantly under attack with innovation and trying. You hear the saying about, you know, technology replacing agents, but I'm quoting someone that said, agents using technology replaces agents. Yeah. There's a difference. And so this is us merging that world that I'm really excited about. One, thank you, Pierre, for your contribution. Just hands down, because I'm excited about what Knockwise can do for us who door knock, because yes, that's what we do. There are, especially when we look at our senior community, you have to get in their face. You know, the landlines are no longer going to be open anymore. Right. And we've got to get to that place where we're actually making contact with people. It's rare that you see them online, and these are your clients. So you have to identify who your clients are when you're out farming. And so this is why I'm really excited about this, because everything Pierre touched on in the washing, you know, I've done it. I've written phone numbers on my hand. I've had the pieces of paper. We've had our notepads. We've had our phones. We're texting each other. Hugh and I, we double in both sides of a farm. Like, he'll do one side, I do the other. We're like texting each other back and forth. We get back to the office and we feel great. We were in the farm for 3 hours, right? Because we're taught and trained that if you're not prospecting for a minimum of 3 hours, you're not working. So we did 3 hours in our farm, and guess what, Pierre? I forget what the conversations were. Who would I talk to? What was the address? Where did I put their phone number? I put a note that I was going to mail a thank you for our convo.
Right. The follow-up, right? The follow-up. It's non-existent. And if you're not following up, then what are you doing, right? You're exercising. Fantastic. Have a great exercise, right? Enjoy the walk. Enjoy the weather, right?
Exactly.
You know, I'll tell you, you know, you touch on something that's funny. You know, it's about contacts and everything else and technology. We should copyright this. Streetology over technology, right? Know the streets. Yes. Know the streets, right? Because here's what happens. If you know, I'll never forget growing up, it used to always be about street cred, right? If you were street smart, man, it was better than book smart, right? If you know your farms, if you know your neighborhoods, guess what? You can share information that they're not going to find on Zillow. Let me tell you something, guys, about anything on the web. Nothing on the internet can go out and shake your client's hand. Nothing on the internet can smile at your client. Nothing on the internet can empathize with your client that's going through a rough time because they have to short sell their house that they've lived in and grew up in, right? The internet cannot do that. They can provide information, they can provide research, but no one can hold their hand. And guess what? That's what you're there for, right? You got to build that relationship. You got to build that trust. You got to do that. And, you know, like what you were talking about, Lisa, we are having, guys, I'm all about giving back as much as I can give. I've learned a long time ago, nothing in this world is mine. right? It's all God-given. If the more I give away, the more I'm going to get, right?
Yes.
I do these workshops. We've got 2 left this year. We're doing one on the 28th over at the Southwest LA Association, right? We have two of them in the morning. One of them is at 9:30 to 11:30, and another one from 1 to 3. They're the same exact class. You'll have an option to come in the morning or afternoon. You got to register for it. We don't have many seats left. As I'm sure you'll know, it fills up pretty quick. But you can go to knockwise.eventbrite to register and get your free tickets. We have one in Orange County coming up on October 3rd on Tuesday. Same times, 9:30 to 11:30 or 1 to 3. Again, same link, knockwise.com. Or knockwise.eventbrite.com, and that will allow you to get tickets for that as well. Like Lisa mentioned, you can also get your free trial of Knockwise, no strings attached. Give it a shot for yourself at knockwise.com, free trial. But what I want to tell you is, how does this thing work and how does it help you, right? Basically, the way we used to door knock was just knock on as many doors as you can and see if you can get lucky and you run into somebody. It's like buying lottery tickets, right? We'll go buy a whole bunch of them. We win $10 and we get so excited, but we forgot that we just spent $200 to win $10, right? With Knockwise, we've tried to make it so that agents are more prepared for the different kind of conversations they're going to have at the door. They'll know how many times they've been there. They know what they've said previously. They know who the owner is. They know where the mail goes. They can see everything in the transaction, right? So we've built an entire process. And I keep going back to that word process, because without a process, you've got nothing, right? You don't have anything. You can't focus on results, guys. Results you can't control. You can only control process, right? So with Knockwise, you'll just log into your account on the web. You'll create a farm by typing in an address or a zip code, take your map to where you want, and physically draw around the houses you want to visit. Once you do that, here's where we take over. We give you all the homeowner's information: name, address, bedroom, bathroom count, square footage, lot size, last purchase price, and last sell date if it was recorded. Then we hit your MLS. Everything active, pending, sold, canceled, expired, withdrawn for the past 3 years in that specific neighborhood that you just mapped out, and we bind it together with your homeowner information. So when you walk up to that neighborhood and select what street you're on, if you're on the odd or even side of the street, we put it in a walking order for you in a loop. You walk up to the first house, guys. You know the homeowner, everything about their property, all their direct neighbors by name, and all the market activity in their neighborhood. You become the walking, talking flyer that everybody else is leaving at the door. You instantly have a value proposition. Now, here's the catch, right? Here's where all the fun happens. As you go from house to house, Lisa, you're just hitting a button. Not home, nurture, opportunity, vacant, non-owner. Every time you do that, remember what we talked about follow-up? We recognize your response and we auto-populate your calendar with when to go back, what note to send, which template to use, and when to send it, right? So that it helps you, it reminds you, keeps you accountable to you, not to your managers, not to your peers, but to you. Are you following up, or are you just trying to open a jar of sauce and can't open it and leave it on the side and a little kid comes and pops it open, right? Are you doing all the work for the next agent to just pop your listing open, right? And that's what follow-up lacks, right? Yeah. Look, we've done it. We've done it. I mean, look, I'm as straight as they come. I told you this before, right? Here's my dumb moment of the year. Buddy of mine calls me up. Hey, Pierre, I saw this house online. It's got an open house this weekend. I go, cool. I'm watching the football game. Go ahead and take a look at it. Let me know what you think, right? So he goes out there, looks at the house, calls me back. I go, so what'd you think? He goes, I didn't really like that house. I go, no worries. Do you like the area? I'll send you some, some links and this and that. He goes, yeah, that'd be fine. But you know what? My wife and I stopped by this brand new community that was around the corner from that house. And they had some really nice houses, new development. And we registered there. And I go, oh, did you put my name down? No. Who's the dumb down now? Right. And that's a friend. Right. But guess what? Friends are spheres. Sphere is family. It doesn't matter. You take care of them all the same. So follow up, follow up, follow up. So we're, the other thing that Knockwise does for you guys is, besides telling you what to do, it's tracking how much time you spend at each door for each response, how much time you spent on the farm. It's allowing you to filter. So if you knock on 100 doors, guys, and 85 people are typically not home, you can go back to that same farm the next day, filter who wasn't home, and only those homes come up. So you can repeat the same farm until you meet everybody and build your database, right? Build those contact points. It runs reports for you so you can start identifying patterns, what neighborhood, what time of day, which day a week you had a bigger, higher contact ratio, so that when you want to invite neighbors to an open house, you know what day and time to go to meet more people instead of just walking around going, oh, this isn't working. It's keeping you active. It's keeping you going, And look, it's about the process, Lisa. I was telling you off camera right before we started, you know, I was watching a video, and that's one of the things I do every day, guys. I watch something inspirational because I got to get this muscle between the ears right every day, because we, you know, God knows we go through enough negativity. We don't need to add any additional for ourselves, right? But there was a gentleman that that I was watching a video on, and he was saying something to the fact that, you know, we always aspire to be great, and we always want to emulate the people that are better than us, and we're always asking them the same question: hey, what did you do? You know, how did you get here? But here, you know, just to give you an example, you go to a person that's, you know, that's selling, and, you know, $50 million, $100 million a year in real estate, right? And you ask them what their process is. Well, their process today is different than their process when they started, when they were in your shoes. You can't ask them what they're doing today when they're already doing $100 million in transactions. You got to say, hey, listen, when you did one transaction, didn't have another transaction for 3 months, and then you had a buyer fall out, what were you doing then? What was your process then? And I'll tell you what, I won't blink without saying it was all about building their database. Reaching out, touching people, saying hello, building that group, you know, growing their sphere, growing whatever they can do. I promise you, they weren't sitting there waiting for the phone to ring for someone to call them. Right?
That is it's so important that people, our listening audience or viewing audience, really, if that resonates, because I think no matter what business you are, the database, that comes from the saying, your network is your net worth.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. You call it the data bank, right? Whatever it is, right? You have it. Listen, if you have no one to call every day, how many conversations about last night's football game can you have at the water cooler, right? What can you really do? Look, at a certain point, you're going to get bored with the people around you. And then guess what happens? And look, I speak the truth with you, right? You go change brokerages, because now this brokerage is going to be better than last brokerage. No, that's just new people you can talk to about your story about how you never made it. Right? Sorry if I'm drunk about it, right? But here's what happens, guys. We tend to get in our own way too much.
Right.
We tend to create these tasks and say how we're busy being busy way too much. The reality is, it's not hard to go say hello to somebody. And if you're scared to knock on their door, just go out to the grocery store, compliment somebody on their shoes, and give them your business card. You want to try something fun? Go to your neighborhood. The next time you're out walking your dog or just walking your neighborhood, find one house that's doing some gardening or doing some remodeling. Take one picture, wait for it to be done, take another picture, and do a single flyer and say, hey, listen, I just noticed how much effort you put into your home and it looks great. Here's your before and after. And let me know how that person responds to just one flyer. Tell me what kind of contact you make. Buy a stranger a cup of coffee at Starbucks and see if you don't get 10 thank yous. Do stuff. Guys, it's the little things in life that resonate with people, because the big thing is the big thing, right? You're not going to control that. It's the little things that people remember. The stuff that people day.
You made my day right now.
You're making my day. Are you kidding? I'm happy about it, right? I love to share this kind of stuff, right? I love sharing this stuff. And look, we all know this, Lisa. We all know this stuff. Right? We just need to be reminded every now and then.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Just get up, dust off, and go. You know, you had a bad day yesterday? Fantastic. You live in sunny California, right? You go sell a transaction, you're going to be happy tomorrow, right? You go make a transaction, you'll be happy tomorrow. I mean, this is not to knock anywhere else in the country. But if you lost a transaction in Oklahoma where you're selling property at $80 a square foot, guys, that's a big hit.
Yeah.
You can make one deal here and it's 10 Oklahoma properties, because we're at $800 a square foot. And you have to respect that in your industry, and you have to come and understand what work ethic and what process you're going to have to put in place to earn that, because that's the key word, guys. You got to earn it. It doesn't come to you. Right?
You got to earn it. You know, and I think about that all the time, especially because I have a network. I have a national network of people and investors and realtors, and I travel a lot with the work that I do. Through the nonprofit. By the way, this is a great moment to say that this show supports our real estate focused nonprofit for the youth and young adults, Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation. Again, we are about real estate leadership, empowering the next with careers. They get to see that this is how technology, that whole STEM program, still is relatable in real estate. I have here that even though he's not from the tech world or has that background, he found a need in our industry and said, look, we need to do something about this. And really, he said for himself, you know, it's like, I need something to help my business.
And it turned into this. Yeah.
And here we are today talking about Knockwise. You guys check out knockwise.com. He's made it very easy for you to test it out and see if it's a good fit. One of the things that he shared in mine was, and I've seen this in your reviews actually, that everyone talks about the customer service that you bring and your team brings. And I think that just comes from you being in the industry, that you know this is a contact sport. Even when we're dealing with technology, that customer service is paramount. It's paramount to keep people there and keep people coming back and more people talking about it. So I wanted to just say thank you. And I'm excited for our classes next week, this Friday.
This Friday, yeah, a couple of days.
Our classes this Friday. I'm going to definitely, one thing that I'm finding, I cannot get away from scripts. I've had coaches and colleagues that said, memorize the scripts, learn the scripts.
You know, and it's funny you say that.
About doing scripts training, I was like, looks like I got to do scripts, because I love to talk, but it makes a difference if I'm talking and converting. You talk a whole lot about nothing.
You know what, Lisa, I'll tell you something funny. The reaction from most agents and from most sales professionals in general, when you say the word scripts, it's like the S word to them, right? It's just like, it's not natural for me. I'm going to be a robot. Look, I'll tell you something. And anyone that wants to join us for our class, again, knockwise.eventbrite.com, you're going to learn, guys, a script is nothing more than the HOV lane on the freeway. It's the fastest way from point A to point B if there's no traffic. But what I want you to consider, and what Lisa's talking about here, is she talks a lot. She's that vibrant person that has that personality, right? When you're in the carpool lane, there's going to be potholes. There's going to be accidents. There's going to be cars that are broken down. They're going to be cleaning it. So you're going to have to learn to change your lane. And that's where it gives you the opportunity to go be you, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to change your lane and get back into your lane, because you still need to converse and get to the point of, you got to get to your destination. So you can't just lollygag for 2 hours at the door and say, oh, I door knocked today, or I was prospecting today, because you had a warm, fuzzy conversation. You know, so if your goal out there is to get phone numbers and email addresses and build your database, you can have those kind of conversations. I'll give you an example, right? Let's say I knock on Lisa's door and I say, hey, how are you? My name is Pierre. I'm with XYZ Realty. Are you Lisa? Yeah. How the hell do you know my name? Oh, right. If I'm not paying attention, that's like me texting while I'm driving. I look up and I slam in the back of a car, right? And I end up saying, oh, I got it from public record. Now I look like a stalker. Right. Right. But at the end of the day, if I'm prepared for those kind of conversations, because I know my scripts and I know how to change my lane, I can say, Lisa, you know what? That's a great question. I get that from a lot of the neighbors that I meet. Because I'm the top producing agent in your area, I try to make it my job to meet every single homeowner in my neighborhood. And I try to get their information from public record whenever it's available. That's it. Bang. I changed my lane. And now I go back into my lane. You know, we're selling this house down the street. Your neighbor trusted us with the sale of his home. We promised them an open house event. I just want to come by and invite you. You know, what day would be better for you to visit us? Saturday or Sunday between 1 and 4. Back to my script, right? So it's your lane, but you got to change. So understand that you need to internalize. So internalize means use your strength, be who you are, right? But just understand the key conversation points. That's what a script is. It's not about being a robot. It's not about being a robot at all. Right.
Amazing. I'm excited about Friday. You guys check out knockwise.com. And thank you for those who are catching us on the replay. Our radio audience, we are available on radio podcasts everywhere. Shout out to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Anchor FM, Breaker, Stitcher Radio, all those platforms that people are listening to us in the car dashboards. Get this, Pierre, over 4 million people listening to their cars. And guess what? We just got in their cars today and we were talking about driving and scripts.
Well, pay attention to what's in front of you, right?
Pay attention. Pierre, as we get ready to wrap this up, are there any last remarks you'd like to share with our listening and viewing audience? And I think as we talk about, I look forward to so much from Knockwise, because we talked offline, just kind of the growth and the vision that you had just for the platform, the tool in general. That's really exciting for me to see. And for agents, especially new and in a shifting market, you know, things are changing. And what would you say to them as we are moving into a different era, right? Yes, we're in a technology era, but yeah, look, I love that you touched on it being a contact sport. What do you have for those people who are saying, I'm new in the business or I'm old, and that one deal or that one, it's like that next deal. Where do I get that next deal from?
Sure. And again, Lisa, thank you for today. I can't thank you enough for this opportunity and platform. But look, if I were to leave anybody with anything, and look, I'm the CEO and founder of Knockwise. It'd be easy for me to tell you, go get Knockwise, start door knocking, right?
Right.
But just what I'd tell you is pick something, guys. Pick one thing and stick to it, right? This is coming agent to agent, friend to friend, brother to sister, whatever you want to call it, right? Stop taking advice from 9 different people. Take one that you're comfortable with and go. And commit for a year, guys, because it takes time. You don't jump on a treadmill today, weigh yourself before you get on the treadmill for 10 minutes and weigh yourself and say, I didn't lose 100 pounds. It doesn't work, guys. Commit to the process. Look, I've made it easy for you guys to get the app. You can try that for yourself. It doesn't cost you anything to try, right? Go to knockwise.com, go to the free trial, fill it out. You'll get a username, you'll get a password, you get all the tutorial videos, you'll get you can directly contact me for one-on-one training, no problem, right? But if door knocking is not your thing, if phone calls are your thing, if meeting people at networking events or going to the dog park or whatever it is, focus at the task at hand, which is build your database and bring value so that you can be different than the internet. As soon as you become a real person, as soon as you're that person, guys, the transactions come themselves. They will call you, right? They will be calling you because they trust you, because they have a relationship with you. I love Facebook, but I have 900 friends on Facebook. And I wish them all happy birthday. Fantastic, right? But how many of them can I invite to my house for dinner?
Right.
And that's what door knocking is. That's what prospecting is, guys, to have an opportunity to have a seat at the dinner table when it's time to eat. Go out and build your database. Go out and build your database. Right?
I love it.
Just go to, again, if you guys want to come to any of those workshops, we got 2 left in the LA and Orange County area. Friday, the 28th from 9:30 to 11:30 or 1 to 3 at the Southwest LA Association. Tuesday, the 3rd, again, 9:30 to 11:30 or 1 to 3 at Pacific West Association of Realtors. Knockwise.com or knockwise.eventbrite.com, and you can register and get your free tickets, guys. A 2-hour event. We'll go over scripts, techniques, strategies, follow-up, Knockwise, all of it. Whatever I can help and share with you, that's what I'm here for.
And he truly is, you guys. Pierre, thank you. You are awesome, man. I am so excited of what we're going to do together. Like I said, we're going to have you at our committee meetings and getting everybody trained, because I truly, genuinely want to see my colleagues and industry professionals win. And so when I met you, I was just like, yes, one, he's got to be on the show. We got to talk about this. We got to support our fellow realtors who are doing innovative things in the industry. And, and people who know me know that I'm not this piece of pie mentality. I'm a baker, so I'm gonna bake the pie. This is what farming is. It's like you said, nurturing and creating those opportunities. And what's your tagline actually? Do you know by heart?
It's opportunity is knocking. Right? So opportunity is knocking, right? So look, guys, just take advantage of what you can, right? Everybody talks about the word luck, being lucky, right? Lucky is nothing more than an opportunity, just taking advantage of an opportunity that's presenting itself, right? And you got to be prepared. That's it. Just be prepared. And so, I remember when I was first door knocking, and I'll never forget this. This is a story I'll share with you. It was an NOD, it was a notice of default. And I didn't know. It was like, I think the 4th or 5th door I'd ever knocked on. I said, hi, my name is Pierre. I understand your house is in foreclosure. And the lady looked at me and said, my house is in what? And I freaked out. Right. I didn't know. I never thought that maybe the husbands never talked to the wife about what they're going on financially. And I was like, oh, I think I must be at the wrong address. And I took off, right? But at that moment, it could have been very easy for me to sit there and say, you know what, this just isn't for me, right? Instead, I took it as an opportunity to say, you know what, learn to do that better. Empathize with people and understand what their needs are and how can you help. when you come from a contribution, when you come from help, when you can come from a position of, listen, whether you use me or not, I will educate you in whatever I'm familiar with. People will use you as a resource, right? And the more you can be that resource, the go-to person, whether it's real estate, whether it's a lamp, whether it's an oil change, guys, if they trust you enough with their everyday questions, they trust you enough to do business with you.
I like it. On that note, we're going to get ready to wrap this up. This was awesome, Pierre. You rock. We definitely are going to connect and do amazing things. Like I said, you guys, be sure you check out and learn more what we're doing with Real Estate 100 Youth Foundation, realestate100youth.org. We'll catch you next week on another powerful episode of Ready, Set, Real Estate. Pierre, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate your time today.
Absolutely.